Don't use this as a weapon, people. Do it, you do it.
No, together.
Go.
Is that cheesy?
That's all right. It's better when you do it.
Action!
What's cracking, Jump Nation family? It's your boy here, Rushy, yes, aka the Jump Rope Coach. Right, people, different video for you today. We are talking about 5 things that I will never do with a skipping rope, or have never done, or may have done and have stopped doing it. It's just a chit-chatty one, right? But it's gonna be very interesting for you because, listen, skipping doesn't need to be done one way or another way. Like, it's not either or. Like, what I say is like not the Bible of skipping, but it's just a way of you knowing, get to know me, how I started, what my ideas are, what my thoughts are. And we're just gonna chat, all right? We're just gonna chat, we're gonna do a bit of skipping, I guess, and you can have fun with it, man. I wanna also hear from you in the comments. Let me know if you're doing these things or you're not doing these things. And just straight off the bat, man, Nathan, 5 things I don't do with a skipping rope. You got any ideas?
Don't murder people with them.
I'm not gonna murder people.
Don't strangle people with them.
No strangling, yeah. Don't use this as a weapon, people. That's not one of them, by the way.
Okay.
Any other ones?
I got a sensible one.
Yeah, go on.
Don't leave a rope unsupervised with a minor.
Very true. We'll have that as an add-on. Safety features, right? Yeah, never leave ropes around young people, around children, obviously. Make sure you supervise them. Very, very important. They're gonna try and copy what you do. There's been horror stories of, I'm not gonna mention them, but like, yeah, just don't put them around children, right? But number one actually, very, very good ideas, by the way, Nathan. Number one, straight off the bat, is I will never try and attempt any moves that involves me needing to flex my knees, right? Now, what do I mean by that? Like, remember, this is, anyone that's doing this kind of stuff out there, if you're like watching this and you're like, yo, dude, I flex my knees trying to do triple unders or this kind of combination. I'm not saying it's wrong. This is just my personal preference, right? Now, when I started skipping, I remember when I used to just try and do double unders, double under crossovers, I would be doing stuff like this and I'd be like, you know, I would be flexing knees and I'll be just, you know, like be really happy with myself because I'm like, yes, got this move done. And then over time, I realized it's just not how you do it. Like, you're just gonna really put a lot of impact on your knees. The techniques are a little bit off, the aesthetics for me were off. So just very simply, I just don't like to do moves that involve heavy flex or heavy kind of bending and big landing, right? So I'm always trying to stay on the balls of my feet, regardless of what move it is. You know, if it's a double under, the only flex I have is just to cushion the impact a little bit and then to set off. It's never to, you know, you shouldn't really be needing to kind of flex a lot of knees. And a lot of people do out there to do really high kind of advanced, intense moves like triple unders, quadruple unders, and you're gonna need some flex. But me personally, I don't try and touch any of those kind of moves. I've had 2 hip operations in the past from playing football, and I'm just trying to keep them safe so I can keep walking in my 60s and 70s. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, leading on to that, is I will never, it's like a game of I have never, you know, when you do a drinking game.
Never have I ever.
Never have I ever. Never have I ever. I don't ever like to, I don't like skipping when my heels need to touch the floor or they do touch the floor. I'm always on the balls of my feet. Again, it kind of leads on to number 1 with the knees, but here, you know, if you get a little side angle here, Nathan, if you can, I'm always just picturing my heels off the floor, facing up, and whatever move it is, double unders, anything high risk, high intense, I'm just always trying to stay on the balls of my feet. It's the best way you can get to activating your calf muscles. It's, I guess, improving and strengthening your joints, your ankles, your hips, your knees, because you're not taking that force with your heels. As soon as you jump, boom, and you're having your heels on the floor, whatever move it is. I see a lot of people online who are really like hitting those heels really heavily on the floor, whether it's be double unders, like even when they're just doing any kind of skipping, when they're doing kind of like 360s, and they're just putting a lot of pressure on their joints. So that's number 2, always on the balls of my feet. 3rd thing I never do with a skipping rope, and yeah, you may have seen some videos in the past, so you could probably say I've done this before, but I usually never skip using a speed rope without knots. Okay, now let's remove the legacy rope. Legacy rope shouldn't be knotted. It's a heavy rope, but I know people do, but legacy rope, just keep normal. Speed ropes, I usually, from all memory of kind of like in the last 2-3 years at least, I don't skip without knots. And the reason, I've got loads of reasons by the way, but personally for me, I love the weight of the knot close to the handle, like about 6 inches away from the handle. I love the fact that you can control the rope. I love the fact that you can do skills and know where the rope is in the kind of arc or in the revolution. And you can still go fast. Like there's a kind of misconception where people say like, you know, if you've got knots, it's gonna slow your rope down. But for me, in actual fact, you can actually get a lot more speed sometimes, because if you know how to time your wrists, this can actually act as like a kind of like a weight pendulum to kind of fling the rope around even more. And it also just helps me just to get that really nice action and revolution on the rope as well. So never have I ever, I don't know, probably have, but I don't think I will ever go skipping without knots. So I guess, yeah, that's number 3. Number 4, things I don't do with a skipping rope. This one's a little bit tricky like to understand, but I tend not to try moves or do moves that involve my hands or the kind of aesthetics of my body kind of changing. So what I mean by that is that when I'm skipping, like I said, I always like to try and keep my body kind of quiet, my elbows close to my body, and I'm just focusing on kind of wrist movements, kind of arm movements, like flowy kind of movements. I feel like the rope is an extension of my arms, and I don't want this kind of motion to break. I don't really want to do moves, for example, that move my elbows away from my body. So for example, let's say I'm doing a side swing cross like this, my elbows stay close, but sometimes I see people doing this, where the arms come away from their body to complete a move, or a behind the back swing like this. And you know, like the point I'm trying to get to is I just don't try to change the way my technique is, I guess, with the kind of form of my body. It's important for me to stay relaxed. It's important for me to keep this form in check. So everything that I do, every kind of move, I'm just making sure that these elbows stay fixed, the arms don't come away from my body, and it just kind of looks and feels natural and effortless. And hopefully that's a point that you guys can take on board as well, is that you don't really need to stress or over exacerbate the movements or over stress on your shoulders. And you know, you just got to keep it nice and free with the wrists and forearms. Keep everything nice and tight. You got another one? You got anything come to your mind? What do you think number 5 you would do? Why that? Don't do the skipping rope. Storage? I love that. We're gonna use Nathan for number 5 here, and it's a really good point. It's how people store their ropes. I will never ever do this with my rope. You know, I used to see people do this, stick it in their pocket, stick it in their gym bag. Storage is very important for your ropes. How you guys look after your ropes is really important, because it's gonna affect as well when you pull it out of your bag, when you take it out in the gym or whenever you train. It's gonna affect how you train with it. The vinyl's not gonna react as well. It's not gonna feel as good sometimes, and especially if you're in the UK, when it starts to get a little bit chilly like this, you wanna keep your vinyl intact, okay? So I've said it loads of times on videos, but when I store my ropes, for example, I always do the same thing, okay? I always make sure I loop it like this, and then I'll use something like the little small money rope carry bags that we've got, or you know, you could even put it away nice and neatly on your door frame, which I recommend as well. So when you're not using it and you're at home, you can just put it on the door frame like this, let it kind of hang down nice and loosely, and it'll make sure your vinyl is kept intact, all right? Very important thing as well, like just don't leave this in your car boot, especially if you're in cold weather temperatures. Don't leave it out in the cold, don't leave it in your porch. Keep it in like inside warmer temperatures, and you'll get just really nice vinyl all year round, okay? So number 5, what I never do with a skipping rope is mistreat it, as Nathan kindly gave me a good idea to put in this to this video. All right, that's 5, bruv. Got any bonuses? I like your suggestions here.
Little disclaimer.
Yeah.
You will see us sometimes shooting without a mat, and that is just for promotion purposes only.
Exactly. You never see me doing a workout.
For our ad campaigns and stuff like that.
And it's hard to travel with the mat sometimes.
So those campaigns are just shot on concrete in cities and stuff, but we always try to take a mat with us. Protect your ankles and your knees, people.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Nathan out.
Smashed it. And that's a good point, man. Last point, little bonus from Nathan. Nearly almost forgot. Always on a mat. Like, I don't skip without a mat. I don't work out without a mat. When I'm in the gym, I'm on mat flooring. I'm not even on the wooden flooring on like the kind of like little private little studios that some gyms have. I'm still looking for a mat. And like he said, when we're out and about in the town, it's just for promo, right, guys? It's just to get you those bossy clips, all right? We can't sometimes carry around the mat and all the equipment and everything else like that. But always on a mat here, all my tutorials you would have seen. And again, like Nathan kindly said, look after your joints, look after your body, and look after your ropes more than anything, right? These mats are not here just for extra purposes, just to make some money. It's we were the first. RA proudly was the first to make sure that we promote mats when you're skipping, because people out there back in the day won't even know what the hell they're doing. Just be on concrete, smashing up their knees, and then wondering why their ropes are all breaking. So there you have it, man. Gave you 6 instead of 5. Smash it, Nathan. Thanks for the input. People, this was a very fun video. Let me know in the comments, man. I think we can have a nice little discussion about this. Is there anything I missed? Is there something that you guys never do with your skipping ropes? There's loads of little bits and pieces I've heard out there. People telling me they boil their ropes when they first get it to loosen it up. They put it in the kettle or some shit. Like, I didn't mention that today, but don't do that, by the way, with my ropes. But like, you know, people doing random stuff, okay? So yeah, let me know in the comments. It'd be really fun to hear from you guys. And that was it, man. Really simple, chit-chatty video. Hope you had fun. Give this video a big thumbs up, people. That'd be really cool for me. Get this video around to more peeps around the world. Get more people flying like bosses. Let's grow this community. So I'll see you in the next video. So take care of yourself. Get a treadmill. Stay safe. Peace.
Was the knight in shining armor in your movie? Would put your lips on mine and love the aftertaste now.